My boyfriend's girl bestie gifted him a new sweater with her face plastered on it, and it's making me uncomfortable seeing his half-girlfriend on his chest. My boyfriend told me his best friend wanted to get awkward family photos taken at a department store while wearing ugly Christmas sweaters. Fine by me, fun little thing for them to do. But today, he calls and tells me she gave him the sweater they were gonna wear, and it's a custom-made sweater with her dogs and her face on it. He made it clear he didn't know about it and doesn't want me to feel like he's wearing another woman's face like he loves her, but more like he loves her dogs. It more so threw us both off, as it's extra. We've talked about this girl multiple times and my feelings about them and boundaries. He only recently changed her name in his phone to half-girlfriend from an inside joke, and it also upset his ex. It took me telling him it made me uncomfortable for him to change it. I know he sees me as a priority over her, but I can't help but feel uncomfortable about this. Am I wrong for feeling uncomfortable? What should I do? Relevant comments. Comment 1, half-girlfriend? This is weird. Frankly, I'm surprised you're still in this relationship, but that's coming from someone who's dealt with a girl best friend before. Comment 2, okay, so I explained this to my boyfriend, and both of us audibly said ew when he heard that your boyfriend had changed her name to half-girlfriend. They're clearly emotionally involved. It doesn't matter if he doesn't take it seriously, she most likely has feelings for him, and it's inappropriate, even if he doesn't feel the same. I would not be with a partner whom I know changed their best friend's name to half-girlfriend. Comment 3, as a woman with very good long-term friends who are men, some who are single, some married or in long-term relationships, this is very weird and obviously inappropriate. So, don't gaslight yourself, or let yourself be told, that it's super normal and you're just being crazy lol. It is blatantly disrespectful to you in the relationship, and the friend knows that. Even if she did like him, she should be respectful, so, she sucks. And he sucks for not maintaining boundaries. He's never going to be able to have a healthy relationship like this. Update 1. I really didn't expect my first post to get the response it did, wow. But here's an update on the situation. Last night I worked night while my boyfriend had the night off. He was going to go get the Christmas photos taken with his best friend, but when they realized the store was closed, they just went over to her place to hang out. He looked me in the eyes before I left and told me he wasn't going to drink, but when I called him after I got out of work, he was drunk, as his best friend told him to do shots. He's gotten drunk at her place before and stayed the night without telling me beforehand, so I really didn't know if he was planning on staying or not. I was upset, and he could tell and asked me to pick him up, except it would be an hour worth of driving for me after an extra day of work to go pick him up. Thankfully, someone gave him a ride home. I ended up going home, calling a friend of mine, and talking things through. He agreed that the sweater thing was weird, and the time I'm on the phone, my boyfriend calls me 5 times. I eventually hang up and call my boyfriend. He's crying and a mess, and I can barely understand him, so I get up to go see him. I've had a history of bad panic attacks, and I know how bad they are and didn't want him to be alone. He had a mental health episode and kept spewing self-hate and asking me what I saw in him, not living up to his potential, on top of a lot of other things that I didn't understand in the exhaustion and drunkenness. I let him stay the night at my place because I knew he didn't want to be alone, and I was worried about him, but soon after we got home, he threw his empty vape across the room, started beating his fists on the couch and yelling, complaining about a game. I was getting incredibly concerned because I'd never seen him act like this. He almost immediately passed out after the outburst, though. He admitted he doesn't know what's been going on, but his mental health has been in a bad space lately. Last week we got in a bad fight while we were drunk with yelling and crying. We talked things through, though, and I figured we'd talk things through when we woke up, but I already wanted to send him home and be alone with his violent behavior. But he started crying when I brought it up. He spent most of the day sick in the bathroom. He said he only did 2 shots all night, so I'm not sure if he's lying or if he just ended up with a stomach bug at a bad time. At one point, he was in the bathroom, and his phone wouldn't stop ringing. After the 3rd phone call, I got up to look, and the call was from half GF, plus heart emojis. The moment he came back out, I told him he was leaving, and he was single, and I would be ordering a lift for him home. You were alright that the half-girlfriend thing was the big red flag, as weird as the sweater was. It hurt me the first time he said it, and we discussed it, and he said it was a joke but promised he understood and would change it in his phone. When I brought it up to him, he said that she had asked him to change it back, so he did. I told him he'd chosen her over me. The history behind the name is that my boyfriend used to live with her and her ex was so terrible that by comparison, my boyfriend was better to her, and so she would call him her half-boyfriend. My boyfriend actually had asked her out in the past, but she rejected him, saying they were better off as friends, and he agreed, saying he didn't want to date her. Obviously, though, she has no respect for me or for my relationship, and I can't trust my boyfriend when he's around her, so he is no longer my boyfriend. I'm a bit of a mess right now, to be honest. I'm exhausted from dealing with him and not sleeping because of it, and all of this is made worse by the fact we work together. Our coworkers have been very supportive. But I feel like I've made the right choice in breaking up. Here's to starting off 2025 single. Relevant comments. Comment 1, great choice dumping him. Now, make it a complete 100% no contact going forward. Response: I work with him lol, so not possible. But it's gonna be very limited contact. Comment 2: I strongly suggest that you find a new job ASAP so that you can go full no contact. Your mental health will, thank you. Response: Unfortunately, I now work with 2 exes, and this is the best place to work in my industry within the city. It might be uncomfortable, but I'm not giving up a good job for a boy. Update 2. First off, thank you for all the comments. I'm still emotional, but I'm doing better. I feel confident I've made the right choice. Some general information in regards to comments, though. Those of you that guessed he would come crawling back have already been proven correct. He texted me that he's feeling better physically, at least, and wants to do better for me. I told him I'd like to have a real conversation. I only want to talk to give us, or more so me, the dignity of closure and to end things like adults, especially with us working together. I really don't have any desire to get back with him. I genuinely don't think he's mature enough for an adult relationship, and there's too many changes that'd need to happen for me to be happy with him. I wish the best for him, but I don't feel like I need to be there waiting for his progress. To the people that said don't date coworkers, I know it's a bad idea, but unfortunately, my industry has a lot of dating, and sleeping around with coworkers is incredibly common. Hard to meet other people when you work nights, weekends and holidays. He was a good friend of mine before we even started dating, and I'd already liked him for a while, so I made a calculated decision, but God am I bad at math. I genuinely don't think he got spiked. He's a lightweight with alcohol, and he was also smoking that night, but I do think he may have drunk more than he let on or did some drug that he knows I wouldn't approve of. The girl's roommate, and mom? I guess? He never elaborated on that, was also present, so I don't think anything criminal happened. I genuinely don't think he cheated either. He's stupid and bad with boundaries, but he's loyal. At the very least, I'd like to believe he didn't cheat, as my last relationship ended with cheating, and I really don't want to think it's happened twice. Additional info is that he admitted to mixing up mine and her names all night, which just adds onto the pile of red flags. Thanks for all the support.